Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Here is Mr. Z, your math coach. Today, we're going to spend more time trying to work on a different kind of exercise. So we're going to deal with proportion. We're going to deal with some exercise on a fraction, a mixed number, decimal number, how to round, how to convert a decimal number to a fraction, how to make a fraction to ratio, how to get the ratio, turn it back to fraction or decimal, stuff like that. So this exercise right here, I intended for anyone that will already learn what fraction is about, how to add fraction, how to subtract fraction, how to multiply, how to convert, how to round. So at the end of this session, my goal is for you to be able to solve any kind of those exercise, okay? So on question number 1, if you can figure out, you can know, you are dealing right there with the proportion. It's a proportion exercise. So a proportion is two ratios that are equal, all right? So the first question is solve for x. So how do you read that? Is a 6 is to 3 as x is to 2. So how do you solve that? So you will have those at the farther corner right here. We call that extremes, okay? So you will multiply extreme with extreme. So you will do multiplication, all right? You're going to put your proportional sign. You're going to treat your proportional sign as equal sign. And then you're going to multiply those are in the middle. We call that means. So let me do a quick recap quick. So you have to remember this. When you have A over B equal C over D, so you can do cross multiplication. So you're going to multiply A with D, all right? So you're going to do AD equal B multiplied by C, all right? So if you know the value of A, you do not know the value of D, you know the value of B and C, and you have to solve for D, you will have to divide both sides by A. This is how you're going to solve for D. That was a quick recap. So from here, we will have now 6 times 2. Which one do you have? We're going to multiply 6 and 2. You're always going to multiply those at the extreme together, put your proportion sign, and multiply those are in the middle. We call that means. So 6 times 2, you're going to have a 6 times 2, all right? Go ahead and put your proportion sign. Then you're going to get 3 times x. So you got 3x, correct? So now you will have a 12, and that side we have your proportion sign. So you're going to have a 3x. Since we are solving for x, we need to isolate x. So the only thing you have to do, you have to divide both sides by 3. So once you divide both sides by 3, these 3 right there are going to cancel. Then what happened? Your x value is going to be 4. Now, I know some of friends, they love to do that a different way. But after they set it up the different way, they will, regardless the way they do it, they will end up here. So I'm going to explain to you, all right? What other friends love to do? They're going to treat this ratio as a fraction. So they will have a 6 over 3, correct? So they put equation equal sign right there. Then they're going to have x, because x to 2, that is a ratio. X is a numerator, 2 is a denominator, all right? From here, what they're going to do, they're going to now multiply 6 times 2. If this is how the only way it makes sense for you, feel free. 3 times x, do you see what I'm saying? So regardless the way you set up your stuff, you will end up here, all right? End up the same way. So you got 12, you got 3x, you're solving for x, so divide both sides by 3, both sides by 3, your value of x is going to be 4. All right, let's do right here. We're gonna try to do number 2. Once again, you're always going to multiply extremes together and mean together. So what we learned so far, you're gonna multiply x with 8, then I'm gonna multiply a and 4. So when I do that, so I'm gonna have 8 times x, I gotta have 8x, then I got 8 times 4. All right, so now you will have 8x proportion, so you're gonna have a 32. You're gonna divide both sides by 8. The reason we divide both sides by 8, because we are trying to isolate x alone. So once you do that, now your value of x is gonna be 4. All right, this is how you solve any proportion. This exercise right here, you have a ratio, but they're asking you a question to convert a ratio into fraction. So let's do a quick recap for a fraction. So how the fraction look like usually? In general term, a fraction is a over b. Regardless the shape of a, regardless the shape of b, you will end up with a different type of fraction. It can be proper fraction, or it can be improper fraction, it can be a mixed number, or it can be a complex fraction as well. So A, you know what they call A. A stands for a numerator, and B stands for a denominator. So when you're dealing with the ratio, you're gonna have this shape right there. Remember, dear friend, the number at the left side of the semicolon represents your numerator, always going to represent your numerator. And the number on the right side of the semicolon will represent your denominator. So if they ask you convert this to a fraction, you know the numerator always goes on the top and put your fraction là-bas, and then your denominator always go on the bottom. This is how you do that. So now that you have that quick recap, how do you convert 1/10 to fraction? You know 1, it's your numerator, so I'm gonna put 1 on the top. 10 is your denominator, so I'm gonna put 10 over there. I'm gonna look if it needs to be simplified. If it's not, I'm gonna leave it alone. This is how you convert this ratio right there to a fraction. All right, so let's do this number 4. Once again, here you have an example of a ratio. How do you convert a ratio to a decimal? Once again, the same question going to apply. How do you convert a fraction to a decimal? Regardless, you have a ratio, or you have a decimal, or you have a fraction. To convert a ratio to a decimal, you have to divide the first number by the second number. So you have to divide the numerator by the denominator. So to convert any ratio to a decimal, you will have to divide the first number, which is 3. You have to divide that by the second number. All right, this is how you do that. This is how you convert a ratio to a decimal. Divide the first number, which is a numerator, divided that by the second number. So when you got 3 divided by 5, you will have 0.6. All right, 0. You're gonna have 3 divided by 5. You will have 0.6. This is how you convert this decimal to this fraction to a decimal. This case right here, you have a multiplication of 2 fractions. To multiply 2 fractions, you have to line them up. So 2 times 4. To multiply any fraction, you have to multiply straight ahead. So you're gonna multiply the top number with the top number, and you're going to multiply the bottom number with the bottom number. Remember, this is not an addition, so you do not have to find the lowest common denominator. So you're going to multiply the top number with the top number. So when I do 1 times 2, and I'm going to have a 2 times 4. And this way, you're going to have your 2 times 8. You do not have to leave this fraction like this, because 2 and 8 can be simplified by 2. So if I simplify 2, I simplify 8 by 2. Now I'm going to have 1 over 4. All right? And that one is a proper fraction. Let's keep going down. How you will, this way here, we got a mixed number, multiplication of a mixed number. So what you have to do, you have to convert this one here to a fraction, proper fraction. So once you do that, then you can go ahead, multiply. Now, we're going to convert the first one, which is 3, 1/2. How do you do that? So you do a C method. From here, we multiply. The result we add. So 2 times 3, 6 plus 1, you have 7 over 2. So let's do the second one. The second one is 2, 1/5. Do the same thing. All right, so we're going to multiply 5 by 2, 10 plus 1, you got now 11 over 5. So now you have now 7/2 multiplied by 11/5. So once you do that, you're going to have 7 times 11, you got 7, and you got 2 times 5, you have 30. This right here, it's a improper fraction, so you cannot leave it like this. You got to convert that to a mixed number. So you have a 30 over there. You ask yourself, how many times a 30 going to go to 7 to 7, 7? You're going to go there only 2 times, and the remainder, it's going to be 17. This is how you solve the mixed number. All right, so let's, here number 7, you have a case to convert this decimal to a fraction. Now, the way you do that, I got 3 to 7. All right, go ahead and put 1 over there. Count how many decimal places you have after this decimal point. So I have 2 decimal places, 1 and 2. So I will multiply by 100, and I'm going to multiply the bottom by 100. But the question is, why did I choose 100, not 10, not 1,000? It's because 2 places you multiply by 100. 1 places, you're going to multiply by 10. 3 places, you're going to multiply by 1,000. 4 places, you're going to multiply by 10,000. So when I do that, I have 3 to 7 over 100. So be careful here. If the question is convert this decimal to improper fraction, this is how you're going to leave it. But if the question say convert this decimal right here to a mixed number, you have to make it as a mixed number. Well, dear friend, how do you make a decimal that is greater than 1 to a mixed number? This right here, the number before the point, before the decimal point, it will be your whole number. So you put your line right there. 27, the number that comes after that decimal point, is going to go on the top. Since I got 2 places, I'm going to divide that by 100. All right, this is how you convert that to a mixed number. Over there, this is how you convert that to an improper fraction. All right, so let's continue. You got 35% to a ratio. How do you convert a percent number to a ratio? Remember, a quick recap. So a percent is any number, anything divided by 100. So if I got 2%, 2% means 2 over 100. Same thing here. 35% means 35 over 100. Okay? So now from here, you know a ratio is what? The numerator on the left, semicolon, and the denominator on the right. For some of you, you're going to leave this thing as a 35, semicolon, and 100. But keep this in mind, you can simplify those numbers by 5. So if I simplify that by 5, both sides, now I'm going to have a 7. And this side, I'm going to have a 7. And this side right here, 100 divided by 5, you will have 20. All right? Okay. So right here, you have a ratio to a fraction. Once again, this, the left to the semicolon, that is your numerator, you put on the top. And then to the right of the semicolon, that's your denominator. So simplify both. I simplify by 4, I got 1. 8 by 4, I got 2. This is how you convert this number right here, this ratio right here, to a fraction. It means get that number on the left side of the semicolon, put that on top, and the number on the right of the semicolon, put that on the bottom, and simplify if you need to simplify. All right, so let's keep going. You have 3.18 to a percent. How do you convert any number? To convert any number to percent, you have to multiply that by 100%. So to convert anything to percent, you have to multiply that by 100%. This is how you do that. So once you do this, you got 3.18 multiplied by 100%, you will have 3.18%. So do not forget your percentage sign. If you leave your percentage sign off, well, your answer is going to be incorrect, because the question is convert that decimal number to a percent. Right here, we got fraction divided by fraction. How do you divide a fraction by a fraction? Now, the rule number 1, the first fraction, which is the numerator, you will keep that the same. You're going to change the division to a fraction, and you're going to multiply by the second fraction, but you have to flip it. So I'm going to keep it 3, 4. The same, I'm going to change the division to multiplication, and those second fraction, I'm going to flip it. So once I flip that, 3 go on the top, 2 go on the bottom. So now I'm going to have a 9 over 8. All right, you don't leave this thing like this. You convert that to a mixed number. Then I'm going to have a 1 right there. All right, so 8 go to 9 one time. The remainder is 1. All right, round to the nearest tenth. Well, for you to round to the nearest tenth, it's the same thing as round to your second place. It's the same thing as round to the first place. I mean, to the first place after the decimal point. Round to the nearest 100, it means to the second place. So for you to round, you need to identify your tenth, your 100, your 1,000. So my tenth is right there. Since I have identified my tenth, I'm going to look at now the number that comes right after that. If that number is 5 or more, you will have to round where you're going to stop up. Then if the number that comes after where you're supposed to stop is less than 5, you have to drop everything after that. So when I look at the 2.367, I'm going to stop at the 2.3. But since the number after 3 is 5 or more, it's going to bring me up. It's going to bring me 2.4. By example, the same example right there to run to the 10th. But if you have a 2.347, they say round this to the nearest 10th. Since My tenth is a 2.3. That's where I'm gonna stop. But the number after 3, it's less than 5. I'm gonna remove all the stuff, and I'm gonna leave this as 2.3. This is how you round to the nearest tenth if the number after 3 is less than 5. On the question number 12, is gonna be 12, it's gonna be 2.4. All right, okay, so let's this way here they say round to the nearest tenth. So 5, that's why you're supposed to stop. The number after 5 is 6. So this right here is gonna become 9.6. If you have 9.5, then you got 3. Your tenth is 5. Since the number after 5 is less than 5, you're gonna drop everything after where you're supposed to stop, and then you're gonna have a 9.5. Okay, all right. Let's keep going. Number 14, round to the nearest 100. So your 100th place is your second place after the decimal. You count 7 occupy the first place, 6 occupy the second place. Now you check the number after 6. Since the number is 5 or more, this right here, it will become a 3.77. All right. But if this number was a 3.76, then I got 384. We're going to stop at 6. But since the number after 6 is less than 5, we will drop everything. And then this case, it will be 3.76. All right. Let's do number 15. Round to the nearest 100. So your 100th place is right there. It's a 9. All right. Since the number after that, it's a 5 or more, I'm going to bring this up. So when I bring this up, this becomes 10. You have a 0 over there, 1 to go here. So when you put 1 over here, it becomes 10. And then the 1 going to end up here. So you're going to have a 4. You got it? So now round to the nearest tenth, your answer is going to be 4. Do not write 4.00. You do not write a trailing 0. You do not write that. You just, your answer right here is just going to be 4. That's it, not 4.00. Okay? All right. Here you have a mixed number divided by a mixed number. So you have to go where to convert this to an improper fraction. So how do you do that? So 3 1/2 times add 2 times 3, 6 plus 1, 7. So you got 7/2. So that one right there, you will have a 6 1/3. So you got 3 times 6, 18 plus 1, you have 19 over 3. So now you're going to divide 7/2 by 19 over 3. What we learned, you're going to keep the first fraction the same. You're going to change the division into multiplication. You're going to flip the second fraction, and when you flip, 3 going on top, 19 going on the bottom. So you're going to have 21 over 38. All right. If you need to simplify, you simplify. This is a proper fraction, so you do not have to convert this to a mixed number. You can only convert an improper fraction to a mixed number. 3/4%. They say convert to 3/4 to percent. We learn to convert to any number to percent, you have to multiply that by 100%. This is a case of a fraction multiplied by whole number. Go ahead and put 1 over 100%, so you don't get mixed up to go multiply 100 by 4. All right, so once you do that, so in this case, right here, you will have 3 times 100, you're going to have a 300% and divided by 4. Okay, so when you have a 300 divided by 4, and you know this is, it's a 75%. Okay, Do not forget the percentage sign. Your answer is not going to be correct. All right, so number 18, you have a addition of a fraction. There are so many ways to add a fraction. We're going to put that right here, and you learn which one is better for you. So the first one, you got 3, 4 plus 5. So the first method consists of finding which one is the lowest common denominator. It means any number that can divide 4 and that can divide 2 as well. All right. So when I look at the small one, that can divide 4, that can divide 2 to give you a perfect division. That small number right there, well, it's gonna be then you look at yourself, you say, what is the number between the 4 and 2, which is the lowest common denominator? Well, that can be divided by both 4 and divided by both 2. All right. So if you put 2, well, if I divide 2 divided by 2, which one you got? You got 1. But if you got 2 divided by 4, so which one are you going to have? All right. So this is how yourself you figure out what is the number that can be divided by both sides. All right. So that can be divided by that one. Okay. So you go ahead and figure out if you got 4, then I got 4 divided by 4. It gives you 1. 1 times 3, you got 3 on the top. You put a plus sign. 4 divided by 2, you got 2. 2 times 5, you will give 4 divided by 2, 2 times 5, you got 10. All right, so in that case, you have a 13 over 4. This one here, it's an improper fraction. Convert that to a mixed number. You got 4. 4 go to 13 3 times. Got 12. The remainder is 1. All right. So what the other people will do, they're going to get a 3, 4. They will do plus 5, 2. So what they're going to do, they will multiply 4 and 2. So they put the answer right there. 4 times 2, 8. Then they're going to get to the first part of the fraction. The top number of the first fraction multiplied by the second number, second part of the second fraction. So 3 times 2, you're going to have a 6. They do plus sign. Then they're going to do the denominator of the first fraction multiplied by the numerator of the second fraction. Then they're going to get a 20. So once they do that, they got 26 over 18 over 8. This can be simplified by 2. You have a 13. 8 by 2, you got 4. So from there, you can convert that to a mixed number. You have a 3, 1, 4. Okay? So what the other people do, they have a 3, 4. Learn which one is better for you and stick it with it. And remember, practice make perfect. What the other people will do, well, they're going to get the first fraction, which is 3, 4. They're going to get this denominator right there. They will multiply that by the first fraction, top and bottom. They'll put a plus sign. They will get now the denominator of the first fraction, all right? And they will multiply that by the second fraction, top and bottom. In that way, they are converting the denominator to the same denominator. So you're going to have now 6 over 8. Now you're going to have a 20 over 8. Anytime you are adding a fraction, they have a same denominator. So you just add the top. So you're going to have a 26 over 8. So once you simplify that, you have a 13 over 4. And to a mixed number, you have a 3, 1, 4. This is how you learn which one is better for you. And this is how you can deal with it. Okay? Right here is to convert a percent to a decimal. To convert any fraction, a percent to a decimal, you know a percent is what? It's the number divided by 100. So get that number right there. divide that by 100. If they ask you to stop to a certain place, stop right there, follow your rounding rule, and record your answer. So once you do this right here, and your answer is 0.03. This is how you convert a percent to a decimal number. All right? Any question? All right. So let's check if we skip one. Yes, we did. So you are here on this question. They say, how do you convert? What is the question is, what percent of 40 is 100? Well, on this question here, I do not have no percentage sign between in any one of those numbers. Okay, so I am looking what percent of 40 is gonna give me 100. So call the first number X, call this second number Y. What you have to do, always get the second number, divide that by the first number, and multiply that by 100%. This question here is asking you what percent of that number is. Is it 10%? Is it 40%? Is it 50? You do not know. So always get the second number, which is whatever is there, divide by the first number, multiply that by 100%. Do not forget, you are looking for what percent of that number is 100. It means that you have to have a percentage sign. So I'm going to do 100, multiply by 100, and whatever you got, divide that by 40. So once you do that, now you have 250%. So 250% of 40 equal 100. So let's check. Let's check. 250% of 40. So we're gonna verify if it's gonna give us 100. How do you find a percent of any number? Convert the number that have a percent to a decimal. It means divide it down. You learned that how to divide. To convert a percent to a decimal, divide that by 100. So when you got 250 divided by 100, so you're gonna have 2.5. This off right there become a multiplication. So you multiply that by 40. So we need to check if 250% of 40 is 100. So you got 2.5 times 40, you have 100. So the question number 20 was, what percent of 40 is 100? So we know 250% of 40 is 100. So do not confuse question number 20 to question number 21. We've already explained how to find a percent of a number. So right here, what is 20% of 80? So you have to convert this right here first to a decimal number. How you convert any fraction, any percent number to a decimal is divide that number by 100. All right. So once you do that, now you have a 0.2. Convert the off, make that as a multiplication, and multiply by the number after off. So once you do that, you multiply that by 80. You know, 20% of 80, the answer is 16. This answer right there, it's a whole number, cannot have a percentage sign at the end. All right. Let's look like we skip some question. All right, so we are back here. All right, so you got ratio right here, 4.5 to a decimal. We learned so far to convert any ratio to a decimal, get the number on the left side of the semicolon, divide that by the number on the right side of the semicolon. 4 divided by 5, you have 4.8. This is how you convert a ratio to a decimal number. All right? This is how you convert any ratio to a decimal number. All right. Right? This question here is to convert, to round this to thousand place. All right? So your thousand place is 8. Since the number after 8 is 1, 1 is less than 5. So I'm going to drop everything. I'm going to have a 2, 6, 7, 8. That's it. Why? Because they ask you to stop to your round, your thousand place. Since after where I'm supposed to stop is less than 5, I'll go ahead and I'll drop it. Let's look at number 24. Where your thousand place is 7. The number after 7 is 5 or more. I need to round this number up. So it's going to be 3, 7, 6, 8. All right? Why? Because we round 7 up. When we round 7 up, we get 8. Okay? All right. So let's look at number. These guys right here, you have a proportion. All right? So what do you know? When you got a fraction here, you have a mixed number, you have a mixed number over there. So you have to multiply extreme together, and then I gotta multiply means together. So my first one is gonna become 1, 2, multiply by 4, 1/2. So go ahead and put your proportion sign. Then I have a 2, 1/3, multiply that by x. All right. So you have x over 1. Just know x, you're always gonna multiply over top. So go ahead and convert this right here to an improper fraction. So I got 1 multiply 2 times 4, 8 plus 1, 9. So 9 over 2. Now here you got 3 times 2, 6 plus 1. You got 7 over 3. All right, 3 times 2, 6 plus 7. So now you multiply that by x over 1. All right. I just put 1 over x under x because I don't want you to get it mixed up, so you can go multiply the top. So this now, you have a fraction. I got 1 times 9, I got 9. 2 times 2, I got 4. Now you have your proportion sign. Then I got 7x. Then I got 3. Remember, you learn when you get like this, it's a cross multiplication. So I'm going to multiply 9 and 3. So you got 27. Then I multiply 4 by 7. Then you got 28x. So you got to divide both sides by 28. And the value of x is going to be 27 over 28. If your answer was to leave this as a fraction, you leave that like that. If they want you to do that as a decimal, you go ahead and convert that as a decimal. If they say record your answer to the second place, it means they want you to make that as a decimal. Don't forget that one. So then you're going to do 27 divided by 28. They ask you round that to the second place. And that way, your answer is going to be 0.96. All right. Your second place is 6. Then after that, it's 4. 4 is less than, so we're going to drop it. All right. Make this decimal number to a fraction. Well, we learned that. You write your decimal number right there. 2 ways. Just go where they put 1 under the fraction. You got 3 decimal places, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to multiply top number by 1,000 and bottom number 2 by 1,000. Just remember, so once you multiply the top number by 1,000, you're going to cancel the decimal place. You're going to now have 758 now over 1,000. If you have to simplify, go ahead and simplify that one. If you simplify that by 2, if you simplify 758 divided by 2, you will have 379 over 500. So if this question was to convert this number to a ratio, if it was converted to a ratio now, since you know your fraction is 379 over 500, so it's going to be 379 over 500. This only if the question was converted that to a ratio. This is the same procedure you're going to use, but at the end, you're going to write it as a ratio. But since the question is convert that decimal number to a fraction, that's how it's going to be. The other way you do that is just jump to a conclusion. Get rid of the number, the whole number. Get rid of the decimal or number. Just go ahead and write the number without a decimal number. Point. Since I got 3 places, go ahead, divide that by 1,000. All right, that's the quick way to do that. All right, convert this number right there to a percent. We learn to convert anything to a percent, get that 1,758, multiply that by 100%. So once you do that, if you are not sure how to multiply by 10 or multiply of 10, use your calculator. So once you do that, you know you're going to move your decimal place 2 places to your right because you got 2 0. So once you do that, you have 75.8%. So do not forget your percentage sign, okay? All right, so let's check it out. So right here, you have converted this to a ratio. So you're not gonna do this. Like I see some people that will do 0, 75, 8. No. This is not how you convert to a ratio. To convert any decimal to a ratio, you have to make that as a fraction first. So you learn how to make that as a fraction. As a fraction, this is gonna become 75.8 over 1,000. All right. If you do not want to simplify that, it's going to be 75.8. Then you have 1,000. But you know, if you simplify that one, you will have now 3. You simplify both by 2. And the other way by 2 is going to be 500. This is how you convert a ratio to a decimal number to a ratio. So let's think about this. Let's say you have 2.56%. All right, they ask you convert this to a ratio. So the first thing you have to do, you have to take this way here without a percent. So it means what? 2.56% means what? It means 2.56 over 100. Correct? That's right. 2.56. It means what? It means 2.56 over 100. Do not write your ratio like this. 2.56. No. That's not correct. You have to cancel that decimal number. How do you do that? Since I have 2 numbers after the decimal, I will multiply top number by 100 and I multiply bottom number by 100. So once you do that, now you're going to have 256 over 10,000. Get, if you have to simplify that by 2. In that case, if you do not want to simplify, well, your thing is going to be 256, and then you have 10,000. Then if you simplify that by 2, you simplify that by 2 again, you simplify that again by 2 again, you simplify that by 2 again, you simplify that by 2 again. So if you do that one, you can see, let us simplify 10,000 by 256. Okay, so you got 10,000 10,000, simplify that by 256. 10,000, 256. All right, so you have some kind of a decimal number. So this is how you're gonna keep simplifying. If I got 256, simplify that by 2, I got 128. So the other way, you will have 128. Then you have 5,000. Simplify that again by 2, where you got 64. So now I got 64. The other way, you're gonna have 2,500. Simplify again by 2 in case you're not sure. Well, then you have a 32. Now you have 2,500. You divide that by 2. So you got 1,250. So you just keep going. You simplify that again by 2, where you got 625. Here you have 16. You look, if you simplify that by 2, no, you stop right there. You cannot simplify 625 by 2 because you're going to get a decimal number. All right. If you do not know how to simplify, either start your way by 2 if that number can be simplified by 2 until you get where you stuck. You cannot simplify that again. All right. Now let's look at here. Now you have we have solved this question like this. So you got 1 half, okay? So you have x. So you got your proportion side, you got 2/3. This is where they just want to check if you learn how to do your fraction. That's what we're saying. This exercise will intend only to those people that have learned how to add fraction, to multiply, to divide fraction, how to convert to decimal percent, and stuff like that. So now we're going to multiply extreme with extreme. So we're going to have 1, 2, multiply 1/4. You have your proportion sign. You put 1 under x. So you're going to multiply x with 2. So now you're going to have a 2x over 3. All right. So from here, which one you got? You're going to have 1 over 8. You have your proportion sign. You have a 2x. Then you got 3. So cross multiplication. So once you do that, so you will have a 3 is going to go over there. And then you're going to have a 16x. So you have to divide both sides by 16. So once you do that, your value of x is going to be 3 over 16. All right. If you have to simplify, simplify. If not, leave that alone. All right. 47. What is 25% of 100? Now it's a recap. Make this number to a decimal. How do you convert a percent to a decimal? You get that number, divide that by 100. This is how you convert any number to a decimal. This off will become a multiplication, and then you multiply that by 100. So once you do 25 divide by 100, you have a 0.25. As you know, this 100 and that 100 can cancel. Then you're going to have 25%, or multiply that by 100. So now 25% of 100, it's going to be 25. All right. It's 25 and not 25% because you're finding a percent of a number. So it's going to be a whole number. A lot of people usually fail this kind of exercise. They give you 0. Get your calculator if you do not know. 75.2 plus 2.48 plus 78.2. So your answer that you get is 81.438. If the instruction was for you to record your answer to the first place or to the 10th, your answer is going to be 81.4. If the instruction was for you to record this to the second place, it's going to be 81.44. What did you say? No, record. Wait. Record this right here to the second place. Did you say 81.43? No. You are on a good, the way you do that, good job. 81.44. Why? Because 3 after 3, you make that up. Now, if they say, record your answer to the 1000th place, to the 3rd place, what would you do? 81 point what? Good job. 81.438, because your answer is already on at the 3rd place, so nothing you're gonna do. So right here, you will get 2.458 minus 1.847. Go ahead and write. If they do not tell you anything, record the entire answer. If they stay stop at the 2nd place, it's gonna be 0.61. All right, 53, you have a 0.25 multiplied by 2.47 multiplied by 7.58. All right, if they don't tell you nothing, once again, the way you do that, 0.25 multiply 2.47 multiply by 7.58. All right, if they don't tell you nothing, go ahead and record the entire answer. 8065. If your question was, record your answer to the 2nd place, where the 2nd place is going to be 0. But since you're not going to write like this, because you do not write a trailing 0. So if the instruction was record your answer to the 1st place, it's going to be 4.68. Record your answer to the 2nd place, also is going to be 46.8 at the 1st place. Record your answer to the 2nd place, it's going to be 46.8, because you do not write a trailing 0. Record this answer to the 3rd place, is going to be 46.807 because of the 5. All right, so let's check if there is a. All right, so this case right here, you got a decimal number 4.785 divided by 2.452. All right, so you have a long answer. But Mr. Z, you say you're going to record everything. Well, any instructor in a situation like this, they will tell you, record maybe your answer to the 3rd place. So assume the instruction was to record to the 3rd place, is going to be 1.95. Then it's going to have 1. That's going to be your 3rd place. All right, so let's see. All right. So there are no more exercise. All right, so quick recap. Do not forget, anytime you have a fraction, to convert that to a ratio, the top number go on the left, the bottom number go on the right. To convert any fraction right here to a decimal, it means divide the top number by the bottom number. You have 0.5. To convert that number to a percent, It means what? It means get the number, whatever the 1, 2, and multiply that by 100%, which is you're gonna have 50%. All right. So this is how you learn. Since you convert into a percent, so you gotta have a percent. What is 20% of 360? What is 20% of 360? Make this right here to a decimal. So we learn how to convert a percent to a decimal, get the number, divide that by 100. So you will have 0.2. Convert off, become a multiplication, and multiply that by 360. So 0.2 multiplied by 360. So you will have 7.2. Now, if the question is what percent, okay? The question is what percent of 50 is 40? What percent of 50 is 40? We say you call this X, you call that one Y. Always get Y, the second number, divide by the first number, multiply that by 100%. So once you do that, you have 40 divided by 50, multiply that by 100%. So once you do, you have question like this must have a percentage sign at the end. 20% of 360, you don't have to put the percent sign at the end. No, because that's a whole number. But the question of what percent of 50 is 40, we are looking what percent of 50. So your answer must have a percent sign at the end. All right, so roughly this exercise was a quick review to help those they are getting ready to pass whatever exam or test or quiz regarding proportion, regarding fraction, percent, decimal number, ratio, and stuff like that. All right. Once again, if you enjoy, invite some of your friends. They are at nursing school too, because they have to learn. You know, nursing school shouldn't be stressful. So you gotta read ahead of time, practice. Math require a lot of practice. A lot. You gotta do a lot of practice. If you don't do that, you just learn and you forget about it. It's easier for you to forget about those stuff. All right. So I hope you enjoy this comprehensive exercise of fraction, how to add, how to subtract, how to divide, to multiply, how to convert to a mixed number, how to make a mixed number back to improper fraction, how to add improper fraction, how to add a decimal number, how to convert a decimal to fraction, fraction to a decimal, percent to a fraction, percent to a decimal, how to make a percent to ratio, a ratio back to a percent. So if you got one tool like this, and then they say, convert this to a percent. So the only thing you have to do, get 1/2, multiply that by 100%. So your answer is gonna be 50%. All right? All right. Was your math coach, Mr. Z. I hope at the end of this session now you are able to answer any kind of those questions. All right. Until the next time, be blessed. And do not forget to take care of each other. This is how we should do. We should have to take care of each other. All right. That's the best thing. You have to take care of each other. If you know someone is struggling in life, help. If you are blessed, help other people they are struggling. All right. This is how the world should be. You take care of me, I take care of you, and we are taking care of each other. All right. Until the next time, be blessed. Here was Mr. Z. Bye-bye.